I cannot believe I'm doing this on purpose. What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your real estate agent here in Charlotte. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I invite you to subscribe to learn more about living here in Charlotte and our real estate market. So today we're going to go over the top 5 pros and cons of living right here in the Queen City. So stay tuned. All right, so pro number 1 is going to be things to do. There's always something going on here, but let's start with sports. We are home to the Carolina Panthers, our NFL team, the Charlotte Hornets, our NBA team, and they recently announced that we're getting a Major League Soccer team, and they should be starting to play in March of 2021. We don't know the name of the team, we don't know the colors, the logo, anything yet, but all that's coming. As far as baseball and hockey, we have minor league teams. Our minor league baseball team is the Charlotte Knights. I definitely recommend going to the game. Tickets are fairly cheap, and it's just a good time going there, hanging out, seeing the amazing view the stadium has. As far as hockey, we have the Charlotte Checkers. They actually won the championship last year. I still haven't went to a game, but I'm dying to go. Another thing is there's a ton of areas for you to explore. No matter what you're looking for, you can find it in these certain areas. And if you are new to Charlotte, I definitely recommend downloading the app Meetup or hopping on some Facebook groups and finding people that you have common interests with. And there's always meetups happening, people just getting together, playing sports, going biking, cycling, I know it's the same thing, working out, whatever the case may be. There's always people that have common interests as you, and there's a bunch of meetups happening all over the place, and it can definitely keep you busy and also help you meet some people down here in Charlotte. Pro number 2, the weather. So the weather in Charlotte's amazing. In the summertime, it does get hot and humid, especially in July and August, where the temperatures are going to be 90 plus almost every day. Spring and fall time are great. It's in the 60s and 70s. Winter does not last long. It'll start in December and it'll end in the middle or end of February. Currently, it's February 27th and it's 64 degrees out. I do not own winter boots, gloves, or a winter hat. And I haven't since I've moved here, so that should tell you what our winters are currently like. Pro 3 is going to be location. So where Charlotte's located geographically is amazing. You are a 3-hour drive from Charleston, South Carolina. If you've never heard of Charleston or never been to Charleston, you need to visit. It is a gorgeous city. It's absolutely amazing. My fiance and I, it's our favorite place to go. Sometimes on the weekend, we'll grab an Airbnb, drive 3 hours, spend the weekend there. It's great. You're a 3.5-hour drive to Myrtle Beach. You are a 4-hour drive to Atlanta and a 2-hour drive to Asheville, North Carolina, which is in the mountains. Also recommend Asheville. It's really cool out there. It's kind of funny. My fiance's family, they like to go vacation in the Outer Banks, which is in North Carolina. And us being in Charlotte, it takes us over 6 hours to get to the Outer Banks, and it's in North Carolina, but it's just the way it is. We're closer to Myrtle Beach and Charleston, and also Wilmington. Wilmington's amazing. Wilmington is about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive, so you're going to be closer to those beaches than you are the Outer Banks if you're living in Charlotte, but it's great for weekend trips if you like getting out there. So simple. Drive a couple hours and you feel like you're in a totally different place. So Pro 4 is going to be diversity. So Charlotte's a melting pot of people from all over the world. And more often than not, the people that you're going to be meeting here and talking to here, they're not really going to be born and raised from Charlotte. They're going to be coming here from another state or another country, which is really cool because you just get to experience these different walks of life. And there's more culture coming into the city, which is just really exciting. Our last pro before we get in the cons is going to be pro number 5, which is growth. Charlotte has been growing rapidly these past 10 years, and there's over 60 people a day moving to Charlotte alone, and that's not including the surrounding areas that we have here. And we're consistently ranking in the top 10 fastest growing cities in the US. So as you can tell by looking at this chart, Charlotte is the 6th fastest growing city according to the US Census Bureau. So the good thing is we're not just growing, but we're also bringing jobs. Charlotte ranks 8th in the fastest growing job markets. So with all those people moving here, there's definitely a lot of opportunities for you to have here. So the top 5 major industries in Charlotte are 1, aerospace and defense, 2, automotive, 3, biotechnology and pharmaceuticals, 4, business and financial services, and 5, energy. So North Carolina as a whole is home to 14 Fortune. So as a whole, North Carolina is home to 14 Fortune 500 companies, and 6 of those are headquartered here in Charlotte. We have Bank of America, Lowe's, Duke Energy, Nucor, Sonic Automotive, and Sealed Air. And if you're wondering what Sealed Air is, it's a packaging company. I cannot believe I'm doing this on purpose. But I don't have to be anywhere until 10 a.m. So right now it is 8:32 on Thursday, and I am going to go get stuck in traffic. I want to show you guys what the traffic's like. So I'm coming from South Charlotte, really Matthews, and I'm about to hop on 74 right now, which is one of the major highways leading right into uptown Charlotte. And I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like. This is the first time I've ever hoped for a lot of traffic, just so I can give you guys kind of an idea. But so far, it's been pretty smooth sailing. So we'll see. So we just got on 74, and usually right around these turns and bends, there's usually some traffic. So we'll see what we got going on. So right now you're right outside of Uptown. So once you get off one of the exits, you're going to have some traffic there. There's a lot of people walking. There's a lot of street lights you're going to be stopping at and things of that nature. But honestly, I was not expecting it to go that smoothly. I thought we were going to have a lot more slowdowns. But of course, the day I want to show you a bunch of traffic, there is none. But that's okay. So traffic here, most of the time, I don't even consider it traffic. It's congestion. Sometimes it'll get congested. Obviously, if you have an accident, it's going to slow you down and things like that. But usually, if you leave 10, 15, 20 minutes early, you're never going to have an issue unless something big happens. So con number 2 is Charlotte is not surrounded by a large body of water. We do have Lake Wylie, Lake Norman, and you can rent a boat, go out boating, kayaking, and things of that nature. But it's not an ocean. So we're not by a large body of water, and I know that might be a deal breaker for some people. Me, anytime I think of the South and when I was planning on moving to the South, I always thought about being near the ocean. But I ended up in Charlotte, but I'm glad I did because I love it. Con number 3 is Charlotte is a really new city. We do have historic areas and historic places and things like that, but when you're down here, you're gonna see a lot of new construction, and most of the shopping centers, buildings, and everything were built within the last 10 to 15 years. So it's not like some other cities that we have that are extremely rich in culture. They do try to preserve as much history as they can, but they're knocking down a lot of stuff and they're just building something brand new. So depending on if you like a place with a lot of character, Charlotte might not be the best place for you, but it does have a lot of historic districts, which are absolutely amazing, and it's so nice just to go walking in these areas, seeing these houses. And for me, I'm inside these houses all the time, getting to take a look, and it's just something really refreshing, seeing all this new stuff, but then being able to go into these historic districts and see these other homes. It's just awesome. So con number 4, I really don't know the best way to say it, but Charlotte really doesn't have its own DNA quite yet. So as I mentioned a minute ago, it's a really new city, and it doesn't know its own DNA or its own culture yet. So if you're from Cleveland, Ohio, if you're from New York, Boston, and things like that, when you're talking to people, you can say, "Oh, you're not from here. You're from New York. You're from Boston. I hear a little accent, or maybe the way you dress." But I don't think I've ever heard somebody say, "Oh, you're from Charlotte," because of a certain way they dress or a certain way they carry themselves. You're being from the South, yeah, because there's a lot of Southern charm and people are extremely nice. But certain things, you can just tell. When I moved here, everybody was like, "You're not from here. Where are you from?" And everybody knew I was from up north. I don't know if it was because my accent, the way I dress, and things like that. But for me, that is a con. But the good thing is, with all the people coming here, there are going to be generations that are raised here, and there is going to be the Charlotte DNA, and everybody will know exactly where you're from. But it will take some time. I don't know how long, 10, 15, 20 years, but we'll find out. So con number 5 is going to be proximity. So there are a ton of places where you can live in Charlotte where you can walk or bike to absolutely anything. But there are also a lot of areas where when you hop in your car, you're going to have to drive for 10, 15, 20 minutes. So when I first moved here, I lived in Matthews, but I lived a little bit on the outskirts. And every time I jumped in my car, I was driving for 10 to 20 minutes. At first, I didn't like it because where I was moving from, I had everything within a 5-10 minute drive. But I adjusted. It's not that bad. Now I'm driving all day, so I just drive all day, so it doesn't matter. If I'm driving to Belmont or Gastonia or Concord, it takes me 30, 40 minutes, which isn't a problem for me. But if you're used to having everything within walking distance and things like that, it might or might not be an adjustment for you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, any questions you have, feel free to call me, text me, email me. I'm always available for you. Until next time, bye.